Welcome to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, the official Monster Jam podcast. I'm Scott Jordan. Monster Jam ramped up, featuring the Monstergon, makes its highly anticipated debut in Birmingham, UK. And my guest this week is no stranger to Inside Monster Jam. So we go to the Great Clips hotline across the pond in Birmingham to be rejoined by Monster Jam's Senior Director of Global Operations, Jayme Dalsing. Jayme, welcome back to Inside Monster Jam. How is everything looking right now in Birmingham with the Monstergon?
Glad to be on here again, Scott. Things are absolutely amazing out here. Obviously, we're firing some trucks up. Going to get a little bit loud, but we're excited to debut Monster Jam ramped up for all the fans here in Birmingham. We couldn't be more excited.
How long has this been in development? Is this something that goes years back, or just something that came up this year? Is let's finally make this happen in 2024?
Yeah, honestly, the R&D has gone back to 2019. Many years in development. This exact model wasn't in development except for maybe the past year and a half. But it really, came to fruition when we just sat down and said, if we're going to do this, we have to do it right. And we have to build this thing sturdy, and we have to make it like our dirt events. During our testing, has proven out to be better than what we thought it would be.
And the safety of our drivers, safety of our fans, number one priority in Monster Jam, and it will stay that way. So what sort of concerns did you have when the testing process came about as far as safety goes, and how we can make this to be the safest way possible with the Monstergon?
Yeah, a lot of that goes into the fact that we wanted to make it like a normal event. Our events have proven to be really great over the years with dirt. How do we make that event good and safe on a non-dirt event, on a concrete floor? A lot of that went into it because drivers of this caliber, they know what they're dealing with on a regular dirt pod. So being able to duplicate that and give them an opportunity to be able to go out and compete on something they're well aware of gives them a safety measure that is unlike any other.
Can you talk us through the testing process? I know that you guys were down here in Lakeland for a couple of days working through some things here and trying to make sure that this Monstergon was ready to go for Birmingham. So can you just talk us through that process and what went on in Lakeland to make sure the Monstergon could come to life over there?
Yeah, we actually started running tests even before we went out to Lakeland. So we were running tests on some of the ramps, even at the Feld Studio. So we were able to, use the space that we have there and actually go through some testing before we even took it in its full form to Lakeland. We did 2 different sessions in Lakeland. We did an initial test just to really see what the thing would do, more of an R&D venture. And then once we had that set, we brought in all of our drivers that we knew were going to be on the international tour. We brought them in and actually started running full events at full speed, break out the timing, break out the competitions that we were going to do, and really prove out the fact that this was going to be an event that Monster Jam fans wanted to attend.
And with the drivers being there, was there any driver input that was considered, any way that they came in and said, hey, maybe this could be a little higher, this could be a little shorter, something like that? Or was it just, we're going to handle the research and development. We want to see that, them run this and see how they feel and go from there?
Yeah, we actually had Tristan England come out to the first one, him and Charlie Pauken, to really see what we were going to get out of it. The first one we did in Lakeland was all about testing. It was all about R&D, getting some driver feedback, seeing what worked, seeing what didn't. A big part of what we needed to figure out was traction. We got some really good input on traction, not only on the floor, but on the Monstergon as well. Ramp angles, we worked through a lot of different things between the first session and the second session. But driver input was huge in all that. Being able to go through the motions over and over and over and really see, as much as we could get out of the trucks was great. And, taking it back to the shop, figuring out what needed to be fixed, and this amazing crew to go out and fix it up.
All right, Jayme, well, we will have you right back here from Birmingham. Appreciate you joining us. So stay right where you are. More with Jayme Dalsing and the Monstergon coming up next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. This week we are talking about Monster Jam ramped up and the Monstergon, as I am joined overseas in Birmingham, England, by Jayme Dalsing. Jayme, looking at that Monstergon behind you, it looks pretty awesome. Let's talk logistically a little bit as far as transporting it. I know with some of our overseas shows, everything is shipped over in containers. Is it the same with the Monstergon?
Yeah, our events overseas, everything we do goes in shipping containers. The Monstergon is no different. So on top of our typical event that we would pull off, the Monstergon itself fits in 3 containers. So it takes a little bit more logistically to get it over here and get it around. But once it's here, it'll be set up and we're able to take it wherever it needs to go.
Let's talk about fan expectations over there. I know you guys have been over there for a few days. Has the buzz been strong over there with high expectations for fans being able to see this for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. Here in Birmingham, the ticket sales are through the roof. We couldn't be more excited about the fans coming out and taking a first look at this Monster Jam ramped up.
Let's talk about the future options for the Monstergon. Is this something that fans can expect to see a little more down the road? Are there already plans in place to bring it somewhere else, maybe to the States, to just maybe keep it overseas? Anything you can tell us about the future of the Monstergon?
Yeah, right now we're focusing on international business as far as the Monstergon is concerned. We have a lot of venues over here that for one reason or another aren't able to bring dirt into the venue. So, that's our main focus right now. Even here in Birmingham, we have a lot of visitors from other cities that are coming in to check this thing out. So they want to see what the possibilities are, and we're very excited to show it off.
Well, let's talk about your competitors. You have a star-studded lineup over there. We're bringing Marvel Monster Jam trucks back for a year too, so it's exciting to see them. I spoke to Miranda Kozad and Brandon Arthur on last week's Inside Monster Jam. They were stoked to be there. You have Barry Musauer, Charlie Pauken. You have Blake Granger driving El Toro Loco. So I just had a chance to work with Blake and Max D. Now he switches over to the Crazy Bull. So talk a little bit about those competitors and those drivers being there and how excited they are.
Yeah, this lineup we were able to actually test with back in Lakeland, as we said. So same lineup that tested there and trained on this Monstergon, was able to bring that crew back out here, which is absolutely great for us. As you said, the Marvel trucks are making their return to international business, and they're going to be here with us. So 3 of the great Marvel trucks that we campaigned internationally last year, so they'll be back out. Plus, we have the newly crowned Monster Jam International Champion, Blake Granger,
wow,
in El Toro Loco, making that switch over to Max D. So
that's huge.
And he did such a great job for us past World Finals last year, leading up to Costa Rica a couple weeks ago. And, we were proud to announce that he's going to be the first ever Monster Jam International Champion.
That is breaking news. Jayme, I love having you on. First of all, just catching up with you, but you always deliver breaking news on the show. So that has been a question that has come from our fans for a long time about the international series. Will there be an international champion? And then now my next question to you is, Blake, as the international series champion, does that include an automatic invite to World Finals?
Yes, absolutely. So for the first time ever, as you said, that international champion will get that automatic bid, and that goes true for Blake. So he's going to get that bid to Monster Jam World Finals, and he'll be out there supporting Max D.
More breaking news. He's been absolutely dominant. You mentioned last year in the International Series, he led it with 7 over-relevant championships. I think he's won 4 out of his last 6. So I'm excited to see what Blake can do. Obviously, he won the ATV World Championship in 2019, but I'm excited to see what he can do in that field of competitors, and I don't think he's going to disappoint.
Yeah, he's been out here proving, that he deserves to be in that spot, competing against Charlie Pauken and Barry Musauer and this great group that we have out here. He's standing out, and he's doing a great job being consistent, being able to go out there and prove that. He'll do no different than that there at World Finals in SoFi.
I know with Monster Jam, because we usually bring, thousands of pounds of dirt in, we build these crazy tracks. What is the teardown time for this? How long are you at the building trying to get the Monstergon out, get it back into the containers, and get it shipped off to the next city?
Yeah, we're hoping that the turnaround time for both install and exit are actually quicker. So although there are a lot of pieces that go into it, like I said, 3 containers that this all comes out of. Obviously, we have some sand in the middle too. I don't know if that's been talked about, but the entire middle of the Monstergon is filled with sand. So
okay,
it's easily helps weigh everything down. But the install and exit should be, pretty quick. Install time, we're hoping that we can get it down to half a day at some point. Exit should be no different.
All right, Jayme, I appreciate you joining me. Best of luck to you out there. I know you have quite the weekend and well-deserved, man. I hope you get a chance to sit back and relax a little bit and watch this creation that you helped bring to life, come to life, and entertain our fans.
Yeah, anybody who's sat next to me at a Monster Jam knows I don't relax too much, but I'll be enjoying it. I put myself in the seat of the fans as well. I get excited when something cool happens. I get a little nervous when something scary happens, but that's what Monster Jam's all about. I'm there with y'all.
All right, Jayme, thanks so much. Coming up next, I'll be joined by Monster Jam's Director of Research and Development, Eric Meagher. We'll be here in studio. Stay right where you are. We're Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, is next. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. I'm Scott Jordan. This week we are discussing the Monstergon which debuts with Monster Jam ramped up in Birmingham, England. First half of the show, I was joined by Jayme Dalsing. Now it's my pleasure to come back into the studio and welcome Monster Jam's Director of Research and Development, Eric Meagher, to the show. Eric, welcome to Inside Monster Jam, my friend. Good to see you. I know we've had you in studio before, but it's great to have you at the desk, man.
Oh, happy to be here. Happy to share the information that we've got, and the debut of Monstergon is here.
It's here.
So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm stoked about this. And I've told Jayme that once this concept came out online, the fans have been talking about it. It's something that everybody's been clamoring for. And I think Jayme touched on the answer, but realistically, we want to get Monster Jam out to as many fans as possible. And there are restrictions that buildings have. Some of them just don't want thousands of pounds of dirt coming in and out of the building. So this offers a chance for Monster Jam to go to places it's never been before. And I guess that was really the intent here with the research and development, correct?
It's exactly right. I mean, we're looking to develop the Monstergon, and the challenge that was brought to us was exactly what you had touched on. How do we reproduce, or how do we produce Monster Jam with the Monster Jam brand at our level without dirt? That's a challenging question.
Right.
You know? First of all, was how can it be done, and then can it be done, and then all the questions that follow that. So to have the opportunity to be challenged with that, to expand Monster Jam's base, it was a welcome challenge, and here we are with the final product. At least our launching product, because my mind is already on version 2.0.
Right. And we'll get to version 2.0 because I do have a question about that. But first, I want to talk about research and development. Where do you come into play in this?
I touch a lot of different areas in Monster Jam. Research and development is a never-ending process. We're always looking to improve. We're always looking to expand. One of the largest elements of my job is the safety aspect.
Sure.
Safety is number one here. It's what we start with, attention to detail. Beyond the safety, I touch everything from the fleet trucks themselves, trucks, trailers, design, machinery, advancements, some of the new bodies you see from the body shop, everything from the shape of those to the design of those to the colors, the graphics, whatever it takes to make up that new IP, that new development falls into my category. It makes it very interesting.
We defy the laws of physics with Monster Jam. We defy the laws of gravity. And I'm sure when it came to the Monstergon and having to build this metal structure to withstand multiple 12,000-pound trucks, going airborne on it, I'm sure the laws of physics really came into play here. So how much, as far as research and development, went into that scientific aspect of, can we withstand this? How can we really absorb this type of force? We're talking G-force. So I'm sure that was a big part of it, right?
There was a lot of research that went into that because, again, who out there takes 12,000 pounds,
right?
Throws them 15 feet in the air regularly.
Yeah.
So with that, we have to, take in the calculations, make assumptions, and then start building things virtually. So this whole project was put together virtually long before anything was physically built. And that gave us the ability to not only test and get feedback, but also make adjustments, versions.
Sure.
We joked about 2.0.
Yeah.
I would be blown away by how many versions we're on already, because before we even started building anything, we must have been on version, 2 or 300. But that 2 or 300 is the refining process. Sure. It's what works, what doesn't work, what creates an issue, what doesn't create an issue. And that's the balancing act in building this. When you look at it for what it is, you're like, it seems extremely basic.
Yeah.
It's 8-sided pieces, 2 walls and 6 jumps, very straightforward. But when you start putting in the elements that are required, again, the traveling, the size, the structure, like you said, for something of that size and that magnitude to land and withstand it repeatedly, that's where the calculations and the engineering comes in. And then when we got our homework done, so to speak, in our virtual, then we went to an outside engineer, had them take a look at it, had them refine a few elements for us. And we're doing something that's never been done before.
Imagine an engineer going home telling his family, I went to work today and I had to design this big 8-sided ramp for Monster Jam. This is pretty cool. Let's talk about the initial development phases here. I'm sure there were a lot of meetings that happened before any pen was put to paper and any drawing was made on a chalkboard. Can you go back to some of those initial meetings and when the topic came up as, we have a chance here to do something special and let's see if we can make this happen?
I think it was a making in the process. And what I mean by that is I don't think that I don't want to lead someone to believe that we sat down and knew Monstergon was going to be created.
Right.
We knew we had that challenge, and that's when everybody sat down and there's a long list of talented individuals that all got in this room together, and we're challenged with that question. How do we produce Monster Jam, carry our brand, bring our thrill and excitement into a venue without dirt? That was a very challenging question, but it was posed to a host of probably 15 to 18 people. So when those 18 minds get together, a lot of great things happen. But we started out with a very toned down version, just in the discussion. Do we do this lower version? And we're like, well, that leaves out certain elements or doesn't allow for certain elements. We found the key elements that make up Monster Jam, and those became requirements. If Monster Jam is going to expand, we need to carry that name, take that excitement, take the excitement to those new buildings, and introduce it to the new fans as well as our existing fans that may be in a location that can't get close to what we produce now. So those were requirements. Some of those 18 people were from the operations side. We're talking nuts and bolts and strength. They're talking production, how easy it is to move in, how easy is it to move out. A lot of moving parts, a lot of great people, a lot of great minds put together to bring Monstergon to life.
Was the name Monstergon always attached to? Because I think it's awesome. This is actually my favorite episode title. It's called "Welcome to the Monstergon," because for me, that name Monstergon, that's brilliant. Whoever came up with that,
it is. It is. It's a brilliant name. And to answer your question, no, it wasn't Monstergon all along. We had a lot of our own names internally for it because it wasn't labeled. We just kind of threw around different names that worked for us, knowing full well that a talented individual was going to sit down and make that determination. And it's worked out tremendous. Love the name. And then when I looked back at it a little farther, a little deeper, because we were all curious, throughout the process, what makes sense to call it? That's where my mind went to. I always wanted to call it an octagon, always. But it truly isn't. It was more of a 7-sided structure and not an 8-sided, equal-sided, and it's not 7 equal sides. So what is it? It's not a heptagon, or a septagon, but it's close because it just has it doesn't have the equal angles. So if it's not any of those defined elements, we had to make up our own, create our own, and that's where Monstergon defined it. So excited for it to launch.
Well, I love it. I don't think there's a better name that could have been attached to that. So. You want to answer some fan questions coming back?
Sure.
All right. So Eric will stick around to answer your questions. There were a lot of them about the Monstergon. We're going to get to as many as we can. Stay right where you are. We'll be back with more Inside Monster Jam powered by Lucas Oil next. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. This week, I've been joined by Jayme, Dalsing, and Eric Meagher from Monster Jam as we discuss the ramped up and Monstergon, which is very exciting, going on in Birmingham, UK. I gave you a chance to ask some questions on Instagram. You can stay involved in the conversation by following me at Scott Jordan MJSX. Eric, are you ready to talk to the people?
Let's go.
All right. Beam Monster Jam NG is asking, with the Monstergon being another way to experience Monster Jam in an arena, is there any other ideas down the pipeline that you guys are testing involving arena shows? Well, let's talk exclusively with the Monstergon. So you mentioned, 2.0, you have ideas already. So we're going to see what happens out there this weekend, but there's already ways to evolve it and continue to adapt.
Oh, this is our launch. This is, again, that version 1. We're already looking at version 2.0. To specifically answer the question, not testing at this point. We don't have testing, scheduled for any 2.0 versions.
Right.
That being said, we have a very long list of improvements that we think will accentuate and take the elements of Monstergon that are positive and enhance them even more. One element that really lends itself to that development side is the fact that these ramps that are put together are all modular. They all go together. So we can just change out one ramp. We don't have to change out multiple ramps. We can build and design and get all that done here and ship it out and then put it in the field. So we're light years ahead of just the virtual idea. Now we have the physical model and the Monstergon in the field. Now the wheels will start turning a little faster, particularly in the development side. And we're always looking to fans, what do you want to see?
And they're very actively telling you what they want to see too.
Always. And we're listening. We're always listening.
I'm the middleman here with the fans. I hear them, I bring it, and you guys do a great job of doing that. We did a driver-centric question. There were a few questions about drivers. What were the drivers' initial reactions here as far as when they tested it? So we tested some here. You mentioned Tristan England was here, and then the drivers that are out there in Birmingham went to Lakeland also to do. So what was their initial reaction to it? Because dirt does tend to give a little bit, and also chips away, makes ramps a little different each time you hit it. So now they're jumping on a metal pod. What was their initial reaction to that?
I think it was extremely positive, from their viewpoint. And we always pay attention to everyone and the drivers we focused on, particularly in Lakeland, as they came into the building before they even got in the driver's seat. What was their impression walking around it? They were all intrigued. And by the end of the testing session, the way that we were working it was to give them the opportunity to perform and try their elements, and then come back and give us feedback. And that went back and forth. And every time they came back, they were a little more excited each time. And they had more feedback each time, which was really a helpful element to help refine the Monstergon to get it to where it is. So the drivers played a very important role. I think they were excited because it was so new for them. They weren't expecting this new wrinkle because they weren't really aware of it until Lakeland, and they were the select few.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of Monster Jam drivers out there and athletes clamoring to get to the Monstergon.
Yeah, we were talking about it in Hartford. It's like you see eyes light up. It's a kid in a candy store. It's something shiny, something new, literally and figurative. Everybody wants to hit it, man. So I'm excited. I know you are as well.
We're excited for the new tricks, the new elements, to get the athletes on it for an extended period of time. And to your point, that's one of the elements, large element of Monstergon that's a positive, is the last truck out has the same track to perform on.
Right.
The dirt is not degrading, not going down, not shifting, not changing. So the excitement level and the performance should maintain all the way through.
And do you think because it's such a cool structure and it offers logistically a lot more elements for these drivers to be able to do it faster, higher? Is this something that you think we're going to see with the action this weekend and in the future? It's just, especially in freestyle, when you have this Monstergon that they can hit, you think we're going to see a little more adrenaline, a little more excitement happening just because this Monstergon is so cool and so well engineered and so structured to make it exciting for fans.
I truly believe that. I think so. It's challenging to the drivers, and I think that's where some of their excitement comes from, because it's a new medium for them to perform on, but it also helps them or assists them in that consistency factor, that when they're refining their skills and their throttle and their rhythm and their pitch and nose wheelies, this is a consistent element to work on. That only gives them the opportunity to be more consistent in their performances and elevate their driving skills.
Think they're going to want to go back to dirt after this?
Oh, of course. Of course.
All right, Eric, thanks so much, man. It's an absolute pleasure. Hope to have you on again, man. You're a great guest. I want to have you on again. So
love being here. Let me know.
We'll find something for you. As for you folks, you know where to find me. I will be right here next week with another brand new edition of Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil.